Hello and welcome to the Daily Bible Podcast. My name is William Hemsworth. Thank you for joining me for today's show. Well, we continue on in Matthew chapter 12 today, and we're going to be covering quite a few verses. We're going to be covering Matthew chapter 12, verses 15 through 21 today, and it's quite a bit. And the only reason it is that many is because here St. Matthew quotes, well, in verses 18 through 21, he directly quotes the prophet Isaiah. And so I just want to make sure everything is put in proper context when it comes to these passages. And I think the best way to do that is to cover that whole quotation at one time. So here we go. Matthew chapter 12, verses 15 through 21 say, Jesus, aware of this, withdrew from there, and many followed him, and he healed them all, and ordered them not to make him known. This was to fulfill what was spoken by the prophet Isaiah. Behold my servant whom I have chosen, my beloved, with whom my soul is well pleased. I will put my spirit upon him, and he shall proclaim justice to the Gentiles. He will not wrangle or cry aloud, nor will anyone hear his voice in the streets. He will not break a bruised reed or quench a smoldering wick, till he brings justice to victory. And in his name will the Gentiles hope. So we read in the first two verses today, verses 15 and 16, that Jesus was aware that the Pharisees were plotting against him for healing the man with the withered hand on the Sabbath. They were already plotting getting rid of him, if you will. And Jesus knew this. It wasn't his time yet. He knew he had more work to do, so he withdrew from there. And that's the same, and we covered this in previous verses on the show. He asked others not to make him known because his time isn't up yet. He had a lot more work to do. And this was also to fulfill prophecy, just like Matthew's listing here. And so the prophecy that Matthew is referencing is Isaiah chapter 42, verses 1 through 4. And these are actually the same passages, if you recall, with Jesus' baptism in Matthew chapter 3, that the Father, God the Father, the first person of the Blessed Trinity, is referencing at Jesus' baptism. And that's in Matthew chapter 3, verse 17. Okay? And so Matthew is citing Isaiah for three reasons. Well, for one, it's a great summary of who Christ is. No, Jesus is the beloved Son. We see that many times in Matthew's Gospel. Secondly, he is a servant of the Lord. Servant, this Greek word here, called pais, which is P-A-I-S, can also be translated as son. Thirdly, Jesus is anointed by the Spirit. Lastly, one of Christ's missions is to bring peace to the Gentiles. And so Jesus fulfills this citation, he fulfills this prophecy, this quotation from Isaiah, when he withdraws from his enemies and goes out and ministers to the margins of society, the lowly, the Gentiles, etc. He's not doing it for fame. He's not doing it for profit. That's not his goal. That's not his goal at all. His goal is to bring the gospel to everyone, not just a particular race like the Jewish people, but to everyone. That includes you and I, the Gentiles. And I think that's just an awesome thing to remember. Remember that he did all this stuff so that you and I, not just a particular people, as awesome as they are, that we could know him, that we could be with him for eternity. So God bless you all. Thank you for joining me on this edition of the Daily Bible Podcast. Have a great day. God bless you all. And remember, tomorrow is Sunday, so there's no recordings on Sunday. That's the only day I take off during the week. That's my family day. It's my worship day. It's also my daughter's 7th birthday. So we'll catch you back on Monday. And we'll continue on in Matthew chapter 12. God bless you all. Again, have a great day. God bless you.